Hello everyone and welcome back to Overwatch 101. Last video we covered how to attack the payload on Watchpoint Gibraltar, alright? We covered how to move that payload. Well, now we're going to cover how to defend against them moving the payload, okay? Defending the payload can be kind of difficult on Gibraltar. The number one thing you don't want to do is be right here on top of the payload when they come out, right? Because if you do that, they're just going to come out here and slaughter you, okay? You're just too close to their spawn, okay? And you're too far away from yours, right? Their spawn is literally right there, okay? And they have 3 ways that they can come out, okay? So, you don't want to be on top of the payload. You're way too close. Also, right, we've discussed how the high ground is really nice to have in any situation. Well, you don't really want this high ground either, right? Because you're still too close to their spawn. Plus, there's also this cover here that doesn't really help you out up here. It actually makes it harder for you to shoot them, right? You don't really have very much maneuverability up here. Plus, a Pharah could easily come back here, jump up, and then if you're facing this way, right, she can just use her concussive blast to boop you off, and then you're down here with the attacking team, and you're gonna be surprised, so you're not gonna be on your game, and they're probably gonna kill every one of you, right? Plus, she can just shell up there with missiles, okay? I'm going to show you where you do want to be on defense. It's also not right here. It is not right here, because this is actually a slight low ground compared to up there. You do not want to be here, right? This is a decent choke between here and here. It's a decent choke, but it's still low ground, right? And you're still way too close to their spawn. Okay, you do not want to be here. You're just going to get beat over the head over and over again with their attack. You do want to be up here. Right up there. Right? Now, the reason that you want to be up there is because it's the highest ground that you can get to in this area. Okay? Now, a lot of teams go right here, okay, and this is an okay place to be, right? It's a high ground. It's much better, obviously, than being down there, or way better than being over there. You never want to be over there, right? But this is the best place to be. This is the most optimal place to be. It's the highest land in the land, right? But I know what you're thinking. How in the world do I get up there without going all the way around, up the stairs, and then across, and then over the bridge, and then there through that door up there, right? Well, if you did not know this, right, which I'm sure most of you know by now, you can just jump up here, and then up here, and then up here, and then up here, right? It's just a little bit of platforming, okay? Let's do it again, right? You see that little step right there? Just right there, and then up on the lunchbox, and then up here, all right? And then you can jump across. Well, I failed, you know, because I sucked, right? But if you try it multiple times, you will eventually get it, right? It should only take 2 or 3 times. You just have to jump at the right moment, okay? And then you jump across, and then boom. Now, you may have to spam the X button when you hit this corner, right, to just kind of cheese it a little bit. Right, we'll go through it again. And when I jump across, right, I'm just going to spam the X button when I hit that corner so I can cheese it a little bit, right? Like spam it, and then boom, now I'm here. Now, every hero can do that. Every single hero can cross that gap, okay? And everyone being up here is amazing, right? This is much better than being anywhere else, okay, in this area. Now, yeah, they are going to push it quite a ways, right, before they can see you, before you can do anything to them. However, you're going to have flankers that are doing their thing, right, trying to mess with them, Reapers, Genjis, all kinds of stuff. Hopefully they don't get themselves killed, but they're going to be poking at them. They're going to be doing what they can, trying to get the pick-offs on their healers. All right, and now for them to take this flank on you, right, let's say you're right here, okay? Now for them to take that flank, they're going to have to go all the way around and through there, across the bridge, and then boom, right? And you're going to see them do that, right? You're going to see them go across there. So you're just going to be like, okay, well, we got a Reaper coming, okay? Let's be really careful about that. Let's not let him do anything. Same thing with that flank there, right? You're going to see it from coming from, you know, that way. You're going to see them going that way before they ever get anywhere close to being dangerous, right? So this is the best place to hold. I previously had thought to myself that it was there, but I learned, right, because I study the game, and this is why I'm passing these tips along to you. I learned that it's actually up here for every hero to do the platforming, to jump the gap, and to be up here, right? And this is a really strong place to hold, especially if you've got a Torbjorn, a Bastion, right? A Piggy who can just fire into the enemy Reinhardt shield. This is a really strong place to be, okay? Now, let's say they just keep pushing forward, right? Let's say we can't get those pickoffs and they just keep pushing forward and they get down here. If they do manage to push it that far, okay, you are going to want to have a really good grasp on this high ground, okay? You want to have a really good grasp on this high ground right here, okay? Now, yes, you will not be able to shoot them until they come through down there. They're going to have the cover of being underneath, okay? But what you have is the server room, and the server room is extremely powerful for defending Gibraltar. You have a very large health pack, okay? So if you can take this room and hold it, okay, right, keeping them down there in that small low ground, okay, keeping them down there, getting the picks, okay? Obviously, you don't want to push it back too far, okay? You can, if they're being super timid, then just go ahead and push, right? Push that payload back. But if they're constantly coming at you, if they're being really aggressive, okay, then you want to hold them right there, okay? Because they can easily get stuck in that low ground. They can easily stall there, okay? Stalling means to come to a halt, means they won't be able to push any further, okay? They can easily stall down there in the low ground because we have high ground here, we have high ground here, and we have a choke point, okay? So it can be very difficult for them to push uphill here, as I mentioned in the other video. And the server room is just a really nice place to be because of the health pack and because you have access to an even higher ground, okay? You can keep their flankers out of here, right? With maybe a Winston or a Zarya. It's really nice to have. The server room is just the best place to be, right? And right next to it. Of course, you don't want to sit in here all day long because then they're just going to push up to this point. And then once they have this point, it'll be a lot easier for them to just attack you, fend you off, and move their payload to the checkpoint, which is right here. Okay, so even though the server room is a nice place to be, you can't just sit in here, okay? You can't just sit in here like this and do nothing. You have to be proactive. You have to be keeping them down there, okay? You have to be keeping them out of this area up here, because once they get to this point, all right, it's much easier for them to get to the checkpoint. Once they've passed that checkpoint, they'll come through these doors and the path will continue. Okay, now I will say that most common you'll see defensive is right here. Although I will say this is not actually a great place to be. Yes, you can hold them pretty long at this bend in the path, but if they're smart, they're going to have their flankers coming through all of these routes here, and they're going to be pelting you, right? They're going to be absolutely wearing away at your shield, picking off your support. They're going to be doing a lot of things, right? Now, of course, if they're not a very good attacking team, if they don't know any better, then they'll just trickle in through these small doors here. And yes, maybe you can hold them here, okay? But if they're coming through there and there, you absolutely do not want to be down here in this low ground. So I'm going to show you where you do want to be. You want to be in here, okay? You want to be controlling this area, all right? Because that giant health pack there is amazing. Okay, it's the only big health pack in this whole area except for way back there. Okay, so you definitely want to control that right there. Okay, and being right here, believe it or not, is the best place to be because you can see the entire, basically you can see almost the whole path from here, right? They've got a little bit of cover right there and a little bit of cover right there, but for the most part, they're pretty exposed. And if you're working with a Bastion or a Torbjorn, right, a soldier, you can really wear down that Reinhardt shield, okay, and start getting your picks. Now, of course, if they do get to that point right there, okay, if they get to that point right there, you have to jump down and fight it out because once they're passing underneath you, then they have the advantage over here because they're that much closer to the checkpoint and you've given that up. So if they do push this far, right? If they push to this bend right here, you have to jump down and attack. You have to jump down, be aggressive, fight them off because you do not want them getting up here. This is the worst place for them to be because not only is it really close to the checkpoint, right? But it's also on an even playing field with you, right? Even if you have that high ground there, okay, you still want to jump down. Because if their Reinhardt shield is fully charged, he's just going to fight off all the damage until they get that checkpoint. So you have to jump down from that high ground to right there and fight them off, okay? Another good place to hold, if they do make it this far, let's say you didn't take the high ground. If they do make it this far, you absolutely want to defend right here. Okay, you maybe have a couple of things working over here, you need to protect them, but right here is really good to defend because you have the high ground and they're coming around a corner, right? So you have the advantage here. Okay, now of course they have the advantage of maybe a surprise something here, maybe, okay, but more than likely you're going to have the advantage here, okay, because you're going to have a surprise corner of your own, right? So you've got things going on here, maybe you can hold them off, okay, but maybe you can't. Let's say they get the checkpoint and you've got to move back. Alright. Now, this is the first bend after that checkpoint. Okay? And bends are our friend. However, you do not want to be right here. And that is why. Okay? If he goes up there and they all go with him, okay, then they can easily kill your whole team and then jump down and just move the payload, okay? So you do not want to be right here, okay? You are in an extreme low ground here, but you can use this to your advantage, okay? If you utilize this area up here, okay, there's a small health, there's a big health pack right there, okay, that you can retreat to get some health. You absolutely do not let them come up here. This is the best place to hold, and I'll tell you why. Because they are almost all of them going to go through that door because they really don't have many other options. Even if they did choose to go that way, back through there, you can still see them, right? You can still see them anywhere. Their entire path to move this payload, right? Their entire path, any path they can take, is easily seen right here. So you have to hold them here. You have to hold them here. Now, if they start pushing up these stairs and they take this room, okay, then you have to go in here and attack and kill them. Because if you don't, if they take this room and they go this back way, okay, they can easily get a high ground here, okay, and then they have the high ground over you, and they will kill you here, okay? So you have to hold here, but keep an eye on that room, okay? Make sure no one sneaks off in there, okay, because that can be very dangerous. Now, there is a wicked flank that you have to watch for, and it is that way, okay? They can dart across here, right? Like a tracer can easily just dart across from that door to right up there without you barely being able to see her, right? But if you keep a vigilant eye, you will see her, and where she's going to end up is right here. She's going to try to flank around and come out this door. So, even though you're right here and you're watching them and you're fighting them off, you need someone watching this door, right? What is good about holding here, though, is that you can tell your people, hey, we got someone going around to the right. They're going to try to flank, right? So nobody's really going to be taken surprised by this flank if you're holding right here, okay? No one's really going to be taken by that surprise because you're going to see them go over there, okay? So you definitely want to hold here. Now let's say they manage to fight you off and they get to this bend right here. Well, this is the final straw, okay? If they get to that bend right here, you absolutely have to control this choke point, okay? You cannot let them through here because once you get backed into this area, you are now in a low ground, and they have many flanks to take to get you, okay? You cannot let them get this far. If they get this far, you would be very surprised at how likely they are to win the game, okay? At this point, it is a fest, we should say. It's a complete contest fest, all right? That's basically what you're doing if they make it this far, is you're scrambling and you're panicking to contest. You're trying your best to get the team wipe. Maybe you do. Maybe you get lucky, right? And maybe you keep them off the payload, okay? And you win the game because the time runs out and they haven't pushed it this far, okay? But that's called getting lucky, okay? If they make it that far and they don't win, that's called getting lucky, okay? You absolutely have to hold here at the lip of this hill. You have to hold here, okay? They're going to try to go around. They're going to try to do all this kind of stuff right here. If they go around that way, right, If the flankers go around that way, you just have to have someone looking to make sure that they're not going to come out here. You have to make sure that they're not going to go up there and do anything sneaky, okay? You just have to have someone look out for that. Now, if they're crazy enough to have the entire team come and go this way, you really don't have much choice, okay, on defense except for to attack them, okay? Now, that may be unfortunate, but if you see them going that way, which you will have plenty of time to do, okay? If you see the entire team going around back there to get over there, or even if they just shoopy-doop-doop right through this door, you have to follow them and attack them in here, all right? Do not let them get even this far, because this is a high ground for them, okay? And then if they get up here, super dangerous, okay? They can kill a ton of people from up here, and then you're done. You're screwed, okay? It's over with if they kill you from up here, because then they're just going to jump down onto the payload, and if they're all on it, they will definitely be able to push it to this checkpoint if you're all dead before you can get back out here, okay? So if they all try to go up there, you have to meet them in that room and take them head on and kill them. All right. So that's pretty much it, okay? You have to defend here. This is your last point of contention. This is the last place where you can be relatively effective, okay? Anywhere else over here is going to be a panic, okay? It's going to be down to the wire, and you're trying your best. However, you don't want to let it get this far, because then you're on your heels instead of on your toes, right? This is a nice corner to hide in, okay? There are some good corners to hide in here, okay? So that's nice. You know, you can at least do that, okay? You can take the enemy by surprise, but don't just resort to hiding here, okay, if they make it to that bend. Don't just resort to hiding there. Be aggressive. Be up here and in their face. Alright, that's all I've got for you for defending payload on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Hope you enjoyed. Overwatch 101, signing off.